I'm Cassidy.
And I'm Kinley. And you'll never find another podcast like me. Hey guys, welcome back to the Who is Taylor Swift Anyways, the podcast.
We're so excited to have you back, and we're so excited to get into all the things that has happened the past 2 weeks because, as always, there's been a lot.
Yes, Taylor has not stayed silent. She's been very active, and we're very excited to talk about what has happened in the last 2 weeks since we saw you guys last.
So we'll jump right into it, and we are so sorry because we filmed right now it is Monday, February 19th that we were filming. We filmed 2 weeks ago from today, and we filmed about 2 hours before the Tortured Poets Department track list was released. No one could have guessed it.
It was so unfortunate. Like, all of our friends were sending us screenshots, and they were like, and me and Cassidy just messaged each other. We were like, crap, we missed it. It was by hours. Like, it wasn't even by a day or two. It was by hours. It was so unfortunate. Like, I was editing last week's episode as it was released.
So unfortunate. But now we have the opportunity to talk about it.
We get to chat about about the track list for Tortured Poets Department.
Yeah. So that's, I don't know where to start. I guess we could start with the fact that Joe Alwyn found decimated in a ditch times infinity, because the smallest man who ever lived, So Long London being track 5. Oh boy, I can do it with a broken heart.
It's gonna be a rough album for Joe. All the other exes got their album, and we thought Midnight's was his, but Taylor was like, no, it's not. We got some more. And so be ready to be Joe haters for a couple of days, I guess.
Yeah, and we also have some collabs on the album.
Mm-hmm. Post Malone.
Unexpected. Post was very unexpected. I still don't know how to feel about it. I'm not a Post Malone hater, for those of you who wonder. I really liked his collab with Noah Kahan.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's interesting.
It's definitely different for Taylor, because I'm just intrigued to see what they do with it, because the vibe of the album seems very different than what Post Malone usually does. So it'll be intriguing to see what he brings to the Tortured Poets Department. We'll see what happens, because Post Malone, I feel like some of the older Taylor albums like could have fit perfectly, like 1989, Reputation, maybe even A Lover. But Tortured Poets Department doesn't give poppy. It gives sad songs, like made for listening at midnight. I don't know. That's what my guess is on the vibe for the album.
See, I don't know, because Jack is on 10 of the tracks, I believe, on the production credits. And we talked about in last episode how he likes to be experimental, how he's really been branching into the little boop 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 boops of he needs to be like, that needs to be taken away from him.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. Taylor has not let us down yet with her new styles, so we'll see what Tortured Poets Department brings. As you can see, we've gotten more acquainted with the name because we aren't stumbling over it as much as we were last time. But I'm just intrigued to see what they do.
Yeah, because the other feature, Florence and the Machine,
yes,
which is exciting. That's one where we admire Jack for his contribution, because, as we know, he produced, or maybe we don't know, I don't know, he produced Florence and the Machine's latest album that came out in 2022, I believe. So they have a connection there, and I can only assume that's where the connection came from, because who wouldn't want to work with Taylor Swift?
Yeah.
But Florence is also given some production and writing and songwriting credit on, I think, 3 of the songs.
Yeah. This album, we'll see what happens, but I think since we talked about this in the last episode, how the vibe is going to all come down to the producers on this album. And I think since we got a Jack, I think it's going to be very similar to what we've seen recently from Taylor. And I think that her bringing in writers like Florence will be really intriguing to see what else she does with like the trying to be different, but also trying to like stay along with the vibes that she's had going on for the last couple of years.
Right. But I will say our solace in everything is that we're getting Aaron on So Long London, which is also the
Mm,
track 5.
yes.
So I think we should be prepared to have our hearts ripped out of our chest cavity and thrown on the ground so that Taylor can stomp on them with her high heeled lover midnight's boots.
Yeah. It's going to be a rough one. Yeah, rough. It's going to be, it'll be intriguing. Track fives are always the heart wrenching ones. And the fact that Aaron is mentioned on that as a producer credit is scary.
I don't know. What track are you claiming?
I'm gonna claim But Daddy I Love Him because I'm a Harry stan as well as a Taylor stan. And if you guys are Harry fans out there, you know Harry wore the shirt that says But Daddy I Love Him out and about in London, and it's just become his thing. And I'm really, really hoping it's about Harry. Because another theory that we didn't get to talk about last week was that this album is about each of her exes. Cause
Oh,
like
I
So
didn't even
Long
hear
London
that yet.
Boy, But Daddy I Love Him, Harry. Do you have the checklist?
Yeah.
Because what else? Who else was I?
Yeah.
I'll let this out. Um The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived, John Mayer. Who else?
Is there a Jake Gyllenhaal spotting?
I think so. I think is it Guilty as a Sin?
Oh.
Or Fortnite. I don't know. But it's just like the theory that each of her exes gets a one or two songs on the album. And I think that'd be interesting to see what she does because But Daddy I Love Him is so clearly like already a Harry thing. And now she's claiming it as her own. And then So Long London Boy, London Boy. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I don't know. We'll have to see. But that's
Okay.
one theory that I'm on board with because it seems pretty consistent.
So it's gonna be like the ultimate breakup album, is what I'm hearing.
Mm-hmm. I think
Got you.
so. And then the next album will all be about the football boys and the football team. We'll see what happens with that one. But the thing for me is that it's been in secrets for 2 years.
But she came out at Tokyo on the first night at Tokyo that said that she was working on it during the US leg of the Eras tour.
Okay.
So, what I'm thinking is we might still get some happy undertones because I mean, the thing was that we knew from the live streams and the videos that were coming out during when the news of the breakout came up,
Mm-hmm.
um that Taylor wasn't doing well. Like you could hear it in her voice,
Yeah.
you could see it on her face. She doesn't play poker face very well. Um
Especially when she's singing like these heart wrenching songs during like the acoustic set. It's so hard to put on a poker face.
right. So yes, we'll get those sad themes, which we're anticipating. But is there a silver lining that we could get a little like romantic spark when she explored that with Travis?
Mm-hmm.
Because that came in what? Kansas City was in July.
Yeah, so it was about October that they started like rumors of them started floating around. So I could see that.
We might get some motifs, but like I said, we'll just have to see.
Yeah, we still got a month and a half till release, which is crazy.
But it's gonna go
It
fast.
will go fast, 100%.
And then we have to talk about all our variants because Taylor is really giving in to take capitalism and making her fans buy all the things.
Yes, because we got what's the first one
The
called? The
manuscript.
manuscript, and then we got the bolter. Bonus tracks, vinyls, CDs, cassette tapes. Like, we are getting so many. She knows what she's doing because she knows her fans will buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Guilty as charged. I have spent more money on this drop than I have the last couple of drops.
Yeah.
That's on me. But it's like she knows what she's doing. She knows her fan base is willing to buy the vinyls and willing to buy the CDs, like everything.
So with the bolter at the very least, I saw this on Twitter, so it's like not verified at all. I didn't look into this at all. But apparently the bolter was the name of the London pub that Taylor and Joe had their first public date at.
I also saw this on TikTok, so there's more than one source. Which we know Taylor is like very subtle in her songwriting sometimes, but also very obvious. So this could be what it's about. But it also couldn't be. Like it could be about something like running away from a relationship or like all these things. It doesn't have to be
Mm-hmm.
about the pub, but I think it's very coincidental. We know Taylor and her coincidences. She doesn't believe in them. She believes in that everything has a purpose. And I think that the bolter, I think it's not. I don't think it's a coincidence. I think
No,
it's genuinely placed well.
no. Taylor has a self-proclaimed track in what she is, and that is a mastermind.
Mm-hmm. Mastermind truly described the way that she teases her fan base, the way that she knows her Easter eggs are impossible. But the fact, okay, one of the things that gets me thinking about, because Speak Now Taylor's version was released during the 2 years, and then we obviously know that during the elevator scene during the Bejeweled music video, there was like a mysterious orange button.
Mm-hmm.
So is Tortured Poets Department the mysterious orange button? Because she said that there's so many Easter eggs that she doesn't have, like that she
Mm.
has planned in advance. Like thousands are in that music video specifically.
Right.
And I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, what Tortured Poets Department things do we get during the Midnight's music videos and we didn't see?
I also saw genius people that are able to piece together so many, like, seemingly disconnected things, but with But Daddy, I Love Him, that is a line from The Little Mermaid. And Taylor
Mm,
dressed as the Little Mermaid for Halloween, what, 2 years ago?
yeah. Oh my goodness. That one's crazy. One of the other ones is how like the coffee mug that Taylor, I'm gonna stop hitting that. One of like the coffee mug photo with the blue nail and the black nail, the
Mm-hmm.
clock in the middle. We just all thought that was like representing the time, but then the clock on her necklace at the Grammys, it was Tortured Poets Department, and we were all like, Reputation Taylor's version is next. Like this is it.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, she had us all fooled, and the clock in the middle was representative of a whole new album.
Mm-hmm.
Which again, mastermind. Like she knows what she's talking about.
No one's complaining though.
Mm-mm. One of the things I will say about the one thing I will complain about Swifties is that people are still like looking for Easter eggs on how Reputation Taylor's version is next before the new album even drops. And I don't know, I'm just like thinking we have a whole new album coming out. I'm okay to wait a little bit longer
I
for
don't think we're
FTV.
getting it until New Year's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Like New Year's Eve 2024, New Year's Day 2025.
Do we know the timeline between Midnight's release and when Speak Now Taylor's version was announced?
I feel like it fit the day. The day is blanking me, but
Because it was like Midnight's released in October 27th of 2022, and then we got she that was announced during the Eras tour in Nashville. So I think it was like early June, if not
no, it
late
was
May.
it was May, it was early May. It was May 6th because it was the week before my show in
Yes.
Philly.
Okay.
So,
So she had announced it was like a solid 5 months,
yeah.
if not more than that, that she like waited to like announce it, and then it was released on July 21st, something
Something like
along
that.
lines. I knew it was like late July, but I think we got a lot of time before she does another re-recording because
Yeah, I'm honestly not complaining. I want to see some space. I want, especially with a new era, I want to see this era have its time to shine and
mm-hmm,
like things be fully developed, and we get like, because Taylor's always been really good about defining her eras, and I don't want that to go away just because she's doing re-records and just because she's on the Eras tour.
Yeah. I think that since she only has two left, she's going to be very cautious with those because it's her name and her reputation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think she's going to give us some time to, like, thrive in this new era that we have. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun to see, like, when she does it. But, like, we also are going to be perfectly fine just enjoying this new era.
Right.
So,
Yeah. So
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Taylor traveled halfway across the world
Mm.
and made it to the Super Bowl in Las Vegas
And Taylor Swift won Super Bowl 58
in
in
her
her rookie
rookie
year.
season. Yep. Oh, so crazy.
Wow, that game. I will admit that game was the least Super Bowl of Super Bowl that I've ever watched. It was
Mm,
a boring game. I was sitting there and I was falling asleep because I had also pre-gamed with the Puppy Bowl, which was way more cuter, way more enjoyable
hmm
than watching men duke it out on the field.
And it was a rough game. Like the Chiefs were not playing well the entire game. And then, honestly, neither were the 49ers.
Yeah.
But it was a low scoring game. Like each had like one or two touchdowns, which is like shocking because in the last Super Bowl they were up to like 50 points, I think. It was a
It was a
higher
pretty
score
yeah, it was a
game.
pretty high scoring game.
And I don't know, but I do think that the Chiefs played real. I think towards the end they knew what they were doing.
Oh yeah, they came back out of the locker room at the second half and they were finally ready to play. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's the team that needed to come out of the locker room.
Yeah, 100%. And then in overtime with the new regulations, I think everybody on the field was confused. So it was just a matter of trying to figure out those new rules and regulations. But the Chiefs played it well, and they took it in the bag and they won it. So
And then we saw Taylor getting the ick from Travis.
yes, but like that's what Travis does. Like that's what Jason and Travis are known for. That's the
Kelsey
funny
Bros.
thing. Like the Kelsey Bros, like whenever at the Eagles parade one year after they won the Super Bowl, you see him doing the same exact thing, dressed in a turban and like this long cloak, like walking around the streets of Philly, which is crazy. Like that's just insanity to me, but like that's just football, guys.
I mean, that's also Philly culture. Like
Yeah.
he was dressed as a mummer, and like that's very representative of the culture, and that's very representative of Jason Kelsey
Mhm.
and just the Kelsey energy. Um, but I will say the one thing that the Kelsey brothers don't need to share a commonality is their beards. Travis Kelsey,
It's
please,
time.
please, we're begging,
Please put the beard away.
shave it, please.
It's time to go.
You don't. He talked about in the latest New Heights from last week that he's like, I'm gonna keep it because it
Hmm.
displays the ruggedness of the postseason, and now it's a championship Super Bowl winning beard.
No, no, it's not. The beard did not win you the Super Bowl, Travis. Respectfully, it's time to be done with the beard.
It's not gonna win him Taylor soon either.
Mm-mm. Taylor
That
does not
thing
need a beard burn while she's on tour, my dude.
is gross.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What else?
Um, Well, we got field action and then we got after party action.
Yes, let's talk about the field action. They had them mic'd up this time because they know their audience. They know why we stayed to watch afterwards. And the cutest interaction. Travis goes, "Thank you for traveling halfway across the world, baby." Oh, the babies got me a little bit. Like I was a little cringe, but like I just don't like pet names. That's just me thing. But it was so sweet. Like they genuinely were just happy for each other.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why she was there. She wasn't there to like take the attention away from the game. She was there to be a supportive girlfriend.
And she was so awestruck. Like she just kept saying it was so electric and she was so happy that she could be there.
Mm-hmm.
And the right people were happy that she was there too.
Yeah.
And then the after party, we got them interacting to two, not one, two of her songs.
And then we also got a rare Taylor Swift post on TikTok of them at the Super Bowl after party, which, if you've been a Swiftie for a long time, I don't think we've seen something like that that shows her personal life as much as it did in that moment.
No.
It was crazy.
It had her parents in it.
It had
It had Travis
Travis,
in it.
which is different because this is the first relationship where I think that she's ever posted publicly about them, and it was on TikTok. Like, that is insanity.
Yeah.
Like, whenever that came up on my For You page, I was like, awesome. Like, somebody posted from the Chiefs after party. Then I, like, flipped around to Taylor and I was like, this was meant to be private. Like, there was no way this was meant to be a public post.
I just like the comments that said, I feel like on her like private story right now.
Mm-hmm.
It was followers only. Like
That's a good way to put it. It was very much a private story Snapchat moment.
oh yeah.
But yeah, the interactions between the two songs, those were
When it's during Love Story and they're pointing it at each other with "You'll be the prince and I'll be the princess."
ugh. Like the fact that Taylor jams out to her songs the way that we do, just self-respect, honestly.
Yeah.
Like that takes a lot of respect. I give her a ton of respect for that because listening to your own music can be really hard sometimes. But just the way that
Yeah.
that song was probably about somebody else all those years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's like in a happy relationship, happy adult relationship because they're adults. They could do whatever they want. And it was just cute.
But yeah, so I'm very excited for Taylor and Travis and all the things to come. Travis, I'm expecting you on a plane down to Sydney,
Let's hope we get some
down
more
to the
traveling.
down under.
Down under. They can have a little anyone but you moment and go jump in the
Oh,
Sydney Harbor. Probably not though.
No, we probably don't want that, but that'd be cute.
That would be cute. Anyone but you, also a good movie.
Yeah,
not
very
Taylor
good.
related.
But yeah, speaking of tour, we have two tour dates to cover and some changing of the rules because Taylor is ever changing the rules as she's allowed to do. It's her own tour. But so we came back, we came to Tokyo.
Yes.
And she's like, well, she's like, if I didn't drop Tortured Poets at the Grammys, I would have dropped it tonight, which was inevitable. And then what else happened that night?
I don't really remember. I've seen bits of it on TikTok, but like I can't really think of it.
Yeah, I don't know if anything else notable happened
I don't think
at
anything
Tokyo.
happened that night. I know like Sydney was when some stuff like she announced some like pretty hefty stuff.
Oh yes, at Melbourne. We got the variant with the second variant.
Yeah, the Bolter.
With the Bolter. And then during surprise songs, she whipped out collabs.
Yep. Like the mashups were crazy. And I could not believe it. I was listening to it on TikTok because the time difference was crazy, but the way that she can just like sing them so effortlessly, you know she's been practicing. You know she's practicing.
Because okay, so it was
We got
Getaway Car into what was the second? The Other Side of the Door.
Mashed up with oh my goodness. Was it from what album was it from? Because I know it was debut mashed up with was it Red?
Was it Red the song? No. Because the second song was This Is Me Trying.
August.
And The Other Side of the Door.
That's something that she hasn't done on this tour yet. She only did the Out of the Woods and the Good lord. I can't think of songs. It's the new track on
Is
1989
it over
TV.
now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it over now and out of the woods? Like
Yeah.
that's the only thing like we've seen her do like a mashup, but that was like TikTok. So we were like, oh, okay.
But like also Getaway Car in August. August is on the set list.
Yeah. Did she change it back to the one?
No. August was fully performed that night.
Huh. I don't know which. Huh.
So
Where did she get this idea for this mashup? Like that is such a random mashup in my brain.
So, and then she talked about, I think it was the second night, she talked about paints and how she's not letting any paints, meaning her surprise songs, go untouched. So she
Hmm.
totally unleashed the like no cap on the surprise songs. They
Hmm.
can be played as many times as she wants.
Yeah, because
Um,
they also got Daylight that night. I remember that one.
yes, they got.
Because Daylight was my surprise song.
Oh,
So sad.
and that was mashed up with something
Yeah, it was.
that I'm not recalling what it is.
I can't think of the mashups. I just know that Daylight was one of them.
Yeah.
Mainly because I cried about it. Because I'm like, oh, another audience is getting my surprise song. That when another crowd gets Dear John, it's gonna be a little bit sad. A lot of sad. Because I love that song.
Yeah.
118 plays of the original Dear John, not including Taylor's version. It was a rough period in my life.
That's me currently with Mirrorball and The Archer.
Ugh.
I've had a lot of those plays recently. My earbuds keeps humbling me and they're like, "You repeated this song like 20 times this week." And I'm like, "Thanks."
Thanks for that. Didn't need you to share. Just could have kept it to yourself. Airbuds is a humbling app though.
Always.
Especially when you can see your friends, so you can like tell what mood they're in based on what they're listening to. So fun.
Yeah.
Download Airbuds, not sponsored,
No,
just for fun.
but do it for the plot.
Thank you guys for speaking now and subscribing to the pod on all your platforms.
It hits different knowing you guys are supporting us. And we'll see you on the other side of the door.